Unit 4, Learning Target 2A. I can identify terms, factors, coefficients, and the degree of a polynomial. A term is a single number or variable or variables multiplied or divided together by other numbers or variables. A factor is a quantity that, when it is multiplied with another quantity, gives a specific product. A coefficient is the number multiplied or divided with the variable. And a leading coefficient is the coefficient with the variable having the highest exponent. A degree is the highest power in a polynomial. Our first example, we have x to the 6th minus x to the 4th minus 4x squared plus 4 equals 0. We have four terms, 1, 2, 3, 4. Four terms. The leading coefficient is 1 because the coefficient of the x to the 6th power is 1. The degrees is 6 because the highest power is a 6. The factors, we have to actually factor this thing by grouping because there is not a GCF and it doesn't factor any other way. So we're going to group the first two terms together, added with the second two terms. When we take the GCF of the first one, we have x to the 4th, which leaves us with an x squared minus 1. When we take the GCF of the second one, we have negative 4, which leaves us with an x squared minus 1. When we put this together, we have an x to the 4th minus 4 and an x squared minus 1, both of which are the difference of perfect squares. So we do have to factor both of those again. Both of these will require a set of binomials. I'm going ahead and setting up the parentheses for that. For this first one, we know it's a difference of perfect squares, so a difference of perfect squares gets a plus and a minus. Our square root of x to the 4th, or the factors of x to the 4th, are x squared and x squared, and the factors of 4 are 2 and 2. Okay, the x squared minus 1 is also a difference of perfect squares, so it gets a plus and a minus. The factors of x squared are x and x, and the factors of 1 are 1 and 1. For our next example, we have our 3x squared plus 13x plus 4 equals 0. We have three terms. We have a term, and a term. The leading coefficient is 3. The degree is 2. And the factors are, by slide and divide, 3x plus 1 and x plus 4, using slide and divide. Our last example is actually a word problem. We're writing an equation that has a degree of 3, a factor of 0, with a leading coefficient of 2. So it's an equation, it must have a y equals. My leading coefficient of 2 and a factor of 0 means that I want a 2x. And then I'm going to use anything with a square in it, like my x squared plus 3x minus 1, so that when I multiply this out, I end up with a degree of 3. You see, once we distribute, we do end up with 2x cubed, that's a degree of 3, plus 6x squared minus 2x.